Okay, the long-awaited part four. Sorry, a lot of things happened. My hard drive crashed, COVID, loss of parents, but I'm making my way back um, through all of this. Okay, so we're at part four, creating a monthly report. And right now, what we've done so far in the series, create a database, create some dummy financial data. I had to recreate that database so I can continue the course. I'm still going to stay with 3.1, even though 5.0 is out, but I will start another series of this and put more fly stuff in there. So we've created the API, we've added the NT framework 3.1, we have Postman to display to test that data. We've done all of that, and now we're going to touch adding the Swagger documentation to the API. And so we're just going to continue on, and I'm going to finish this up, and then after this, start all over again. All right, thank you very much. So right now we're going to focus on documenting the API. And where we're going to do this is by using Swagger. And so we're going to search for Swashbuckle API at swashbuckle.asp.NET Core, which we will install, and that will give us access to everything we need to document the API, from generating the Swagger JSON file. And so now that we've installed that, go ahead. Ba-boom. All right, we're going to move on to wiring it all up. Okay, now that we've added Swashbuckle to we need to go to our pipeline, and then we'll quickly add that service. So we'll go right here. Services. Swagger generate. We're going to need to put in a setup action. And the setup action. Setup action. We'll name the doc. So Swagger doc. So we'll need a name for what we're going to call library. We'll call it library. No spaces, please. Financial library. That we will add a new open API model. There you are. Kind of already knows where I'm heading. And here, and this allows us to this open API model API info gives us the ability to add information in there. So in this case, we'll just use title. then also name and put in a version. But I think you get the point to that right there. So we're not done yet. Okay, so we need to also add it to the pipeline, and we'll add it after we use the HTTPS redirect. And to do that, we go app dot use Swagger. All right, and so we will run it and see what happens. Actually, I'm going to tell you what happens, but we'll run and see what happens, and then I'll explain what's going on. All right, so let's run it. And okay, so our service is up and running, and it's now listening on port HTTP. It's listening on HTTPS, and so we'll copy that to put into our browser and see what this code generated first. So here, let's open up Edge. It has this flurry of stuff that it's going to show us. And we hit enter. And of course, it doesn't show anything because it's an API service. And in our Swagger, we didn't specify an index page or anything of that magnitude. So what it did generate for us, as you look at this here, if you create at the root Swagger, and then you remember this name, this is the name we gave it, swagger.json. There it is. This is our Open API document. Title, Financial Library, version 1. Remember that? That was manipulating, and this is generated automatically. So that's an important part of the whole documenting your API process. So right now what we have is with the Swagger which generated our open model JSON. Now we want to go ahead and in our request pipeline at the Swagger use Swagger UI. Now the first thing we need to do with this, first thing we need to do with this is put in the setup action. Okay. I know that's gonna come in handy. And so setup action dot Swagger endpoint. So we need to tell Swagger UI where's the document created that the Swagger gen created. And so into here, and it's under from Swagger / we saw it in the previous video. I think that's what we do in the previous video. I just showed you it. I mean the URL. And then swagger dot JSON, and it's with a comma, enter, and URL, and then we need to give it a name, and we'll just library API. And oh, I didn't stop the service from running. I was wondering why I'm getting those lines. Okay. Based on that, what we do now is run it again. Of course. Okay. Now listening. I shouldn't have closed my window. Very busy edge. And this time, instead of going to this, we go to Swagger. Now, I think it's one of those. And there we have our API documentation. And of course, you know, I made it really simple. So beautiful. There's a lot to do in Swagger. But again, I just wanted to go through this as quickly as possible. And voila. So that's our API documentation. This link takes us to our Swagger document. All right. And I hope that was kind of, you know, it's a lot of things to explain, a lot of things you can do with Swagger and our API documentation. But this generated the API, okay, specifications. Okay, this is in our request pipeline, so it's going to respond to Swagger. And then the gen creates the UI for you, which gives you this beautiful thing of stuff. So one more thing we have to set up here. Did you see how I had to navigate over to get the Swagger gen document to show up? To fix that, oh, shift, my bad. So we're gonna go to setup action. Man, this is so, I mean, they really did a good job with this thing, and I can see why it's in heavy rotation. So we're going to set up another setup action. And we're gonna set the route prefix equals to empty string. Now, what that now does, we're gonna run it again. And like running from scratch, we'll get our service up and running. And then we're gonna highlight that route. And if I absolutely didn't screw up, when we enter it now, before we had to navigate, we're gonna enter it, and that setup route prefix equal empty strings is what forces it to do this. So at the root now, you see it. Beautiful, beautiful. You have to love that. And there's lots of configuration stuff we can do here in Swagger, and one of the things that's cool with it, we're gonna go try out. And this is our API sales orders. We just hit execute. This allows you to test it. I'm not sure if I should have used. And down here's our body. Okay, it was a lot. But there you have our results. You should see, this should look familiar to what you see in the database. I mean, that's amazing. Those little, I love development, you know? I mean, what an impressive thing you had to show somebody. And you can go ahead and test these and go from there. Hey, yo! 2021 has begun. Thank you so very much for watching these videos. Like and subscribe if you want to. I appreciate every way you support. Have a lovely day, night, just depending on what time it is in your part of the world.